Good afternoon, Altaf. Thank you for sparing the time for our Q&A session. I'll let the students introduce themselves to you.
You're most welcome, Gabriella.
Hi, I'm the head student at Putteridge High School. I'm Gabriella.
I'm Kemi.
I'm Molly. And I'm Seb.
Okay, and I'm Altaf. I'm Principal and Chief Executive of Luton Sixth Form College. I'm really excited to be talking to you today.
Right, so we have
Who's going to kick off then?
I'll start. Why should we go to Luton Sixth Form above other sixth forms?
Oh, why should it? Well, believe it or not, I'm not going to be saying to you that we are the only place for you to go to. So what we say to every young person is, when I go into schools, we want you to work hard. We want you to be the very best that you can be. And then we want you to go to the provider that's going to get the best out of you when you move to them at the age of 16. If that happens to be Luton Sixth Form College, brilliant. You know, we've got one of the biggest options in Bedfordshire, over 45 A-levels, 46 BTECs, etc. Over 100 options, and we've got a track record of about 56 years. We're the oldest sixth form college in the area, in the country actually. So there isn't one provider above the other. We always urge you to actually come to us, come to our open evenings, but also go to Barnfield College, go to Cardinal Newman, go to the Shared Trust, go to everywhere, do the research, talk to the staff, talk to the students, and by the end of that be in a position where you're able to make a well-informed and realistic decision. Because we want you to be happy when you come to my college or any provider. And if you go to another provider, I'll be gutted, especially if they're talented young people like you guys are, but I'll be happy for your success as long as you are going on to do something wonderful with your life.
So, next question. How can Luton Sixth Form support me pastorally?
Pastorally?
Yeah.
Well, what we do is, although we are one of the biggest sixth form colleges in the country, we are also look after the little things as well. So we're very conscious that, especially due to the current climate, money might be an issue. Keeping warm might be an issue. Many of our young people, many of our students and parents come from disadvantaged backgrounds. So they're disadvantaged in terms of actually how much money they've got coming into their house, but they're not disadvantaged in terms of the huge aspirations of the talent that is coming from them. So we're very proud to be a community for Luton. So in terms of looking after you, we have a whole team of in-house staff. We don't outsource, provide services to external kind of organisations. So we have a careers team. They're employed by the college. We have a counselling team. We have a team to help you with financial support. We have an enrichment team. We have a Duke of Edinburgh team. We have football, sports. Pretty much what you want is what we can do in terms of helping you behind the scenes. Every young person has a progress coach. They kind of like a surrogate parent really. Sometimes they'll put an arm around your shoulder and say, do you know what, let's see what we can be doing. And sometimes they might give you a bit of a push to say, do you know what, I think you could be better than that. And every student sees a progress coach once a week, but they can talk to any member of my team to ask for any help. Because we're very conscious that before you even walk into the classroom, if we haven't addressed issues at home, if you haven't addressed what's going on in your head, you're not going to be focused in terms of being the best you can be in the classroom. To answer your question, you can't say no, you just waffled on there.
No, it does.
Good.
Thank you.
So, what type of courses would you recommend for us to be able to apply to university?
Oh, okay. My starting point is choose subjects that you love and you are good at. Okay. Now, in terms of being good at, I would look at what's the evidence telling you. So many of the young people I interview, they say, for example, a popular one is I want to be a doctor. So the first thing I do is when I interview them in March for their first interview, and they say doctor, I say, have you got a plan B, really? Because getting into medicine is really, really tough. You always good to have a plan B in life anyway. And then the second thing I will look at once I look at their aspirations, I will look at a few subjects in terms of their predicted grades. And what do you think of the subjects I'll be looking for if they said I want to go into dentistry or engineering or medicine? What kind of subjects will I be looking at to see are they good at?
The sciences?
Yeah, and the maths. And if the maths and the sciences are saying to me, oh, the school is predicting 4s and 5s, I trust the professionalism of your school staff. They know you really, really well, and they will look at that and say, yeah, okay. And then what do you think is the second thing? And that's always what breaks my heart when I'm thinking it's 4s and 5s. They've want to be a doctor for the last 5 years. What do you think I might say next to them once I see the evidence? I'll say, have you thought about another option? Just in case, because if you're going to go to college, you'll probably have to do science A levels, okay, and maths somewhere along the line. And if you've got 4s and 5s at GCSE and that's the best you can get, which is a good grade profile, do you want to carry on doing those subjects at A level and maybe not enjoy life? Because if you enjoy something, you tend to do better at it, don't you? And then do I want to set up a young person to do something that doesn't make their heart sing and they could be doing something else? So our starting point is when we interview every young person is, are they going to do an option that they love? So when we put pressure on them to read around the subject, come in at 8:30 in the morning when it's been horrible, they come in because they love that subject and they don't mind reading the subject and working hard for it. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So in terms of preparing you for university, our starting point is love what you do, and then automatically you will get high grades, and then doors will open for you. And then we'll look after the rest in terms of giving you advice for university or employment.
Okay, so do I need to submit a personal statement along with my application? If yes, how long will it have to be?
As long as you want it to be, it's your personal statement. So the personal statement is really just for us getting a sense of what makes you tick. So we'll get a reference from the school, and that's really, really important. So the advice I'd be giving for anyone listening is we take a lot of notice over the feedback I get from the schools in terms of behaviour, attitudes, attitude to study, etc., etc. And we also then want to get a sense of you as a human being. So I get a real connection with you in terms of what motivates you, what kind of gets you excited, what are your aspirations for the future. And can I just stress, we call it interview, and that sounds really, oh my God, it's a conversation between someone like me and someone like you. We invite parents along to that conversation. And it's important for me to stress, any offer that we give you in March is based on your predicted results. And then what happens is we wait for your GCSE results in August. Once we've actually got the real facts, then we'll invite you in for a second and final interview. So nothing's locked in, but we will make you an offer based on the predicted grades that the school has said. So as and when you have, I don't know what you call them, is it mocks or PPEs? Mocks, okay. Always worry when young people don't take their mocks serious though. I'm thinking you really should. It's a trial exam. It's a good way of you assessing where you are at. And also, it will be a way of actually how we make you a conditional offer in March. But the good news is, if you improve from your predicted grades in March and actually get better, then because we've got such a wide range of courses, then we can offer you an alternative option as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So to get into the subjects I wanted to, what would the minimum requirements be?
Well, go on our website because we've got 100 options. Actually, for me to break it down would be really difficult. So, for example, if you are firstly find out what kind of person are you. So, for example, me, I was humanities, so I like psychology, history, English, all that kind of stuff. I like reading, etc., etc. I was okay with sciences and maths, but that didn't really make my heart sing. So if you are looking at going into the sciences, that would normally be the biology, the chemistries, the maths. Go on our website. It's a brand new website. It's really easy to use, and that will give you a breakdown subject by subject in terms of the specific entry requirements. So look at the subjects for science, look at the subjects for English, break it down, drop down the menu, see what it's all about. That will tell you exactly what you need to be having. We have an average GCSE score of 4.4, okay, for you to be coming in. That you'll see there somewhere. And for you to do really well on A levels, we expect you to be looking at maybe 4s and 5s across the board minimum. And it's really important for me to stress this bit is many of our students, 60%, combine A levels with BTEC. Because A levels are one way of learning, BTECs are another way of learning. Both get you to the same destination, give or take. But you need to understand the difference between A levels and BTECs and make sure you're getting the best out of your learning style to make sure you get those highest grades.
What if I didn't get the grades that I was predicted?
Well, firstly, don't panic. Really don't panic. So the great news is you're lucky at school, you've got a great bunch of people who will look after you. Okay, and all we ask you to do right now is actually work really hard and be the best that you can be. And if you can genuinely say in 20 weeks time when you open up the slip of paper that that was the best of me, and the best wasn't quite enough, then I'm going to be proud of you, because I can't ask you to be better than your best. What always depresses me is after when you open up your GCSE results and you say, I could have done better if I'd worked harder. And I say, now's your moment to start working harder and actually just put the effort in and get those grades. If it doesn't work well for you, 9 times out of 10, we will have an alternative option. That's the beauty of being a college which has 100 options. So if it doesn't work there, we'll move you somewhere else, and then we'll say, okay, well, what do we need to do to help you then maybe take a step back to take 2 steps forward further down the line? Let us do that for you, because it's a minefield. BTECs, A-level, GCSEs, do I do one course, what's going to... We're the experts in that. Let us do all that kind of negotiation and pathway finding for you. And if you don't do as well as you thought, I think just keep in touch, and then we'll see if we can find an option for you. And most of the time we will.
So can I apply for more than one course?
Well, it depends on, so this is an interesting one. So when you say course, are you talking BTEC and A-level? Okay. Okay, so if, for example, you are looking at going down an A-level route, and are you thinking of A-level route? Okay. And what are you thinking of doing, if you don't mind me asking?
Maybe maths, sciences, perhaps something like geography as well.
Ooh, wow, that's an interesting bit. And then have you thought what you're going to do after you leave us?
No, I was trying to pick like the widest range, so I could at least, if I make a decision later.
Okay. So you're choosing subjects that you love. You love maths. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, then what about you?
I think I want to go with psychology, chemistry and biology.
Love it. I did psychology. Okay, and each of them are quite different. So psychology has a maths element.
Yeah.
So we've introduced core maths to have to improve after the quality of that. Biology is quite a lot of reading. Quite a lot of people don't realise actually that it's quite a lot of content and reading. Okay, and then have you thought what you're going to do when you leave college?
I do want to go down the doctor route, specifically a psychiatrist.
Oh wow, okay, and have you got a plan B?
Not at the moment, no. I've just come to that one, so
Yeah.
still thinking.
Well, when you come and talk to the interview team, and if you're lucky and you get me, then I can have the conversation, you can talk to the careers team, have a plan B. That's not being pessimistic. It's just so many of our students leave here with A stars and they don't get into medical school.
Yeah.
That's not their fault, just there isn't enough spaces in this country. So we always talk about a plan B. That's not saying I don't have confidence in you getting into medicine school, but a huge number of our students do really, really well, and then they don't quite get it. So we always talk about plan B and a plan C as well. Okay, and those are subjects that you're going to love.
I do love them, yeah.
There you can tell by your smiles out there, that's really good. What about you?
Politics, history and math.
Okay, that's an interesting mix then. So why have you chosen that mix then?
Well, because I really enjoy humanities and I want to
Okay.
go down into like a politics route, but I also could think I could definitely go down an economics route either way. So I think maths would open a lot of doors for me that I wouldn't get with all 3 humanities.
You could become the next Chancellor of the Exchequer. There you go. We definitely need someone to help you know what to do, don't they? Okay, so, and you love maths?
Yeah.
And what kind, if you don't mind me saying, what kind of grade path, what kind of grades are you normally used to getting for maths?
8, 9.
Love it. That's what I'm looking at. I know we say 6, but actually maths is one of the toughest A-level subjects you can do. And maths is doing. You just do it over and over again. And if you don't like it, you're not going to do it, are you? Really? Okay, and then you're thinking of uni.
Yeah.
But you don't want to jump too far ahead. You want to just make sure you're just doing it step by step.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. What about you then?
I'm looking at computer science and physics, and then not really fully decided on my last one yet.
Okay, and you thought about uni as well?
Yeah.
Okay, and what are you thinking of doing? Engineering?
I'm not too sure yet. Maybe something like software design, development, things like that.
But somewhere in that field.
Yeah.
So your direction of travel is I think maths is probably going to be an important component. Computer science, physics, that's a nice kind of triangle of things that you can go on to. Now, see what I was doing there? This is what we'll be talking about in your March interviews. It's a conversation. We'll ask you what's your destination. You may not know. I don't know what I want to do. And we have to, it's a tough gig. You know, suddenly, what are you going to do with the next 40 years of your life at 16? Well, how do you know, really? So what you need to do is actually have transferable skills. When you come and talk to us in March, it'll be a conversation very similar to this. And then we will look at actually what the options are. So for you, A-level seems to be the key area. So all of our students will do 3 A-levels because that's what you need to get into the top universities. And we'd rather you get high grades in 3 A-levels as opposed to doing 5, because 3 will get you to where you want to get to. Some of you might be thinking about, well, I might say to you, well, have you thought about doing a BTEC in IT, which is 1 A-level equivalent and 2 A-levels, and then we'll mix and match it. So the magic number is 3. It's 3 equivalent of either a BTEC or an A-level, all of which will get you into employment or into universities as well. BTECs and A-levels will get you into the top universities as well. Whoever gets the best out of you in terms of which option you go for. So that kind of answered it. It took me a long time to answer the short question. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, so can I change courses in September?
Yes, you can. We prefer you not to do that, actually, but we understand that sometimes you may change your mind. So, as I said, in March, we will sit down with you and we'll make you an offer based on your predicted grades. And then from March up until June or July, you can contact us and say, well, yeah, do you know what, I've thought about this. And we'll probably say, well, why don't you just wait until you've got your GCSE results. And then you can change your mind at that point when you come in for enrolment in August. Then you may decide, and we're hoping that most of the time, most of our young people then are locked in. They're happy, they're ready to rock and roll. But we do understand that September starts and you have maybe 2 or 3 days of a subject, you think it's not quite working. Then what we will do is we'll ask you to wait for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we have a small window, probably 2 or 3 days, where you have got the opportunity to move from one subject to the other, as long as there are places available on those subjects. So we prefer you not to. We prefer you to have to change your mind as many times beforehand, as long as you've got the entry requirements. But there is that option for you to change 2 or 3 weeks into the start of the term. Answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
So when I get to the school, what kind of extracurricular or social activities can I get involved in?
Wow, where do I start? If you go on our website, because it's too much of a list for me to even start. So where do I start? So you have curriculum-related activities. So we give extra booster sessions if you're doing subjects, etc. Give you an extra bit of support outside of that. I suspect you're thinking more about the fun things. Is that what yeah, I thought so. Okay, so we have a football team, we have actually a netball team, we have a basketball team, we have a cricket team as well. We have a chess club, we have jiu-jitsu starting. We've actually got a great gym, actually, which is a brilliant gym, which you can use, which is free to accessible to our students. We have the Duke of Edinburgh, so we're very keen that many of our Luton young people who wouldn't normally be immersed at Duke of Edinburgh have an opportunity to have the DOV. So we do the bronze, silver, gold. Have any of you done the DOV? I'd really recommend it, guys, honestly, because it gives you an extra edge when you go for an interview or you go to university, etc. And so I could carry on and carry on. There's loads and loads of stuff. And after, if there is something that we haven't got that you'd like to do, then you can go to our student council. What's yours called? Student council? Or? Yeah, okay, I bet you're on it, are you? I bet you might be, yeah. And then you can go and they can support you and they can give you some funding to maybe have a club of your own. So we understand it's not just all about the classroom, there's stuff outside the classroom, and luckily we've got a lot of options for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How important are maths and English, like the grades you get for them for like subject requirements?
Really, really important. So we do allow young people to reset their maths and English when they come to us, and that's really important to us because we've got some of the lowest entry requirements of a sixth form college in the whole country. Now it's important, that's not because we've got low standards, it's because we have over 900 young people who reset their maths and English every year, just for whatever reason, just didn't work at school or whatever. And if we had higher entry requirements than what we'd like, we'd be turning our back on those 900 or so reset students, and we're not happy with that. You know, we're a college for the community. We want them young people to progress within us. So maths and English is really, really hard. So a bit of advice I'd give it to anyone listening is the best way for you to avoid resetting maths and English at Luton Sixth Form College is to do what, do you think? Pass it at school, okay? However, if you work really hard and it doesn't quite work, then we will help you when you get here. So maths and English is really important. You'll need it to get into uni, you'll need it to get into most jobs, and we will help you. So if you're struggling with maths and English, do your best. If you come here, we'll help you pass it the second time round.
Thank you.
So when I take my A levels, do I have to have the GCSE in that A level to actually?
No.
the course?
No, not necessarily. Some subjects, as we said, if it's a science subject, I think we'd like you to have the foundation of the maths and the biology. We'll look at that, and there are specific entry requirements for those subjects. But no, for example, psychology. You will think you don't have to have done a GCSE inside because not every school offers GCSE, so that would be a bit unfair. So have a look at our website, have a look at the individual subjects and the entry requirements, and that will give you all the information that you need.
So what are BTECs and T levels, and is one in a way better than the other?
No, whatever is better and whatever gets the best out of you, as we said right from the start. So we don't offer T levels at this particular time. They are much more vocational, industry standard kind of subjects. We do offer BTECs, and we have been offering them for many, many years. So BTECs are more coursework. They have a lot more structure. They have an exam element as well. 98.5% of universities accept BTECs as a well-recognised qualification. They're very well recognised by employers as well. So, as I said, 60% of my students mix and match BTECs with an A level. So it's really important for the people listening that it's not just one path or the other. Many people combine the two because it's all about progress, not perfection, in terms of the choice of subjects that you choose.
Thank you very much. Thanks at the end of our questions.
You are most welcome. Thank you for your time. Good luck with those GCSEs. And are you going to be coming to me? Okay, so I'm joking, I was probably off camera by now, but I hope you are. But if you're not, and all the very best. Okay, take care.
Yeah.